Governor DeSantis' move to fly immigrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard has gained some national attention. I have Scott Maxwell here, and the big question you have here, and I think many people have this, is why is Florida tax money being used for this?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Rich. I mean, there's a lot of debate over the propriety or the decency of this whole thing, or the effectiveness, and whether DeSantis really owned the libs, especially since the folks in Martha's Vineyard seem to pretty unanimously say, "Okay, we'll help take care of these folks." But the big question I and others have is, why is the governor of Florida flying migrants from Texas up north, especially because Florida, as you may know, Rich, is chock full of immigrants, and not just immigrants. Florida has the third biggest population of undocumented immigrants. So it would seem to me that if I was the governor and wanted to make a point about undocumented immigrants, I could go to any of a million like agricultural operations and point to them, but the governor didn't do that.
Yeah, this is where it gets complicated, and you talk about this in your column, and that has to do with how Florida relies on undocumented workers, and it just becomes a caveat.
Yeah, this is sort of Florida's dirty little secret, and that is that this state, particularly its agriculture operations, also construction industries, rely on cheap and illegal labor to get basically foods from the farms to our table. The agriculture industry is completely open about this. The Farm Bureau says on its website between 50 to 70% of its workers are undocumented. So they're just flat out saying the majority of their field force is illegal. And Florida doesn't do anything about it. In fact, Ron DeSantis just 2 years ago signed a bill that was supposed to crack down on hiring to make sure it was all legally vetted through the federal government's E-Verified database. The bill DeSantis signed specifically exempted most private employers, including agriculture and construction firms, from having to meet those requirements. So DeSantis and GOP legislators have really gone on the record as basically green lighting the hiring of undocumented workers in Florida. And I don't think they want to talk about that here in Florida, which seems to be why he's looking at Texas.
Yeah, you talk about this essentially being a misdirection, and I'm curious, why would Governor DeSantis be looking to misdirect attention on Texas rather than take on Florida's problem?
Yeah, because I think it would focus on this thing that they don't want to admit, that they have basically, as I said, given a green light to these hirings. And the governor, if you look at his campaign contributions, he's got big checks from agribusinesses, $25, $50, $100,000 a pop from tomato, cattle, cucumber operations. These are the ones that say they need to have this illegal workforce. Now, by the way, I'm going to submit that's kind of a bogus argument. They claim they can't get U.S. citizens to fill these jobs. What these agriculture companies mean is they can't get U.S. citizens to fill these jobs for the wages they are willing to pay, and by extension, by what most Americans are willing to pay for groceries. If they raise the wages, they could, but they don't want to. So Florida sort of had this wink and nod agreement between business and GOP legislators, where the businesses say, we'll fund your campaigns. You demonize the illegal immigrants all you want. Just let us keep hiring them. That's what they've done, and that seems to be what DeSantis doesn't want people to focus on right now.